1. Teaching conversational competence gives the student tools they need to manage conversation. It helps ensure that language acquisition will relate to their life. We need suitable method as the input of teaching the target language. For example, daily conversation is a method of language education that encourages student speaking improvements through daily communication. It aims to overcome several problems that students encounter in learning foreign language. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, comprehensible input is a pivotal thing in acquiring a second language acquisition since Crescent in 1982 has said that comprehensible input should be developed more by the students in practicing, studying, or having conversation with others in order to develop their communicative skill and linguistic competence. As far as we know that the more comprehensible input comes to the learners, the more they will succeed in producing comprehensible output. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Rano Vali, and in these occasions, I would like to share a suggestion to all the EFL teachers, especially in Indonesia, to use enjoying teaching and learning process. Your students can only acquire language if they enjoy the process, because it is different with learning. And make sure that the focus is on the conversations, because it's okay if they make any mistakes, the others will correct it. And the corrections will be counted as an input for them, so that the language can acquire effectively. I think that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, if you're a teacher or lecturer for EFL classroom, especially language acquisitions, I agree that you must always consider your teaching method, and it should be based on learning objectives. For instance, your learning objective is focused on vocabulary improvement, so you can use music or song as media to support your teaching method. Because some studies found that it can help the students understanding and learning vocabularies well and enjoyably. And regarding an appropriate method or media can evoke the students in learning competence in a new language.
There are several things that you should know, and it can be useful for EFL students. The first is people acquire language by comprehensible input. Those are through reading and listening. But it also needs the support from the output in productive tasks, because both of them are completely each other. And then the materials and the methods that we use in the classroom should be appropriate with the students' needs and students' interests. And the last is we as a teacher should create the comfortable and enjoyable classroom in a learning process.
In the term of providing comprehensible input for teaching English, the consideration of using an appropriate method is important. Conversation competence helps students to acquire second language easier, specifically by using daily materials such as daily conversation, because it invites their expectation of the use and the relation of the conversation in reality. In my opinion, cooperative learning and communicative language teaching are the suitable method used in conversation class, because it invites the students to practice more in the class so that they can apply it naturally inside and outside the class.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In providing input for acquisition, better than we create, enjoy, and comfort atmosphere for better learning acquiring. By doing it, can make the student learning unconsciously. Based on some studies that it's more effective learning and acquiring language by learning informally, and provide tools to help the student obtain the input. Thank you.
Hi. In my experience in acquiring second language, especially in English, songs really help me to achieve it, because it will enrich the vocabulary and also fix the pronunciation. My lecturer taught me by using a song, and it's really changed my mind in learning English. So teacher, you can use a song in your class, but please consider about a song which has a good pronunciation and song which can make your student feel relaxed and comfortable. So trust me, it works.
Crescent's providing input for acquisition that suits me the most is other features that encourage acquisition. That is by providing tools to help students obtain more input in a fun way that will create a low-effective filter in the classroom. Because one effective way to learn a second language is to enjoy the learning process. One thing that everything that starts with a feeling of love always makes people who experience something feel the spirit to go through that process.
Providing proper tools for the students in order to improve their learning is one of the assignment for EFL teachers. They should provide some interesting tools, for example, using video conference, watching movies, listening to the music, or maybe using games. Whatever the tools, the main point of teaching and learning English is enjoyment.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to talk about the process of language acquisition. Aspect of enjoyment, effective method, patience, and time management must contain in the process of language acquisition. Thus help language learner to be able to speak faster than others. In this case, some scholars state that conversation is a very good way to obtain more input because in conversation we can learn about the correct pronunciation and use of context-appropriate language. Thank you.
The influence of enjoyment in providing comprehensible input is making the learners feel joyful, so they forget that they are actually acquiring or learning the language. The enjoyment also reduces anxiety. When the learners have comprehensible input with a low anxiety, they do better in language acquisition. They commonly acquire the language easily.
Hello, my name is Armin Wijayanti. I want to share my opinion about making rich comprehensible input according to Crescent theory. In here, Crescent states that students should not put on defensive so they can enjoy in acquiring language and they can share their own opinion and from their own idea and they can make discussion with their friends so they can doing some presentations and watch movie and they can read some document and from this students can be happy in teaching and learning process so they can acquire the language well. Thank you.
Well, as an EFL teacher, we need to make sure our students to get input in and beyond the classroom. In the classroom, we can choose the teaching method based on the learning objective, and it should be variation in order to get students interested in each learning process. And then beyond the classroom, we can invite our students to actively interacting in social media by using English as their language, such as in Instagram, Facebook, or WhatsApp. And also we can share information from the YouTube or podcast or BBC Learning or other website, and then we can sharing opinion and ideas about it.
Today I'm going to share my opinion about the importance of conversation for language acquisition. Conversation plays important roles for students to acquire their second language. Through conversation, students not only obtain comprehensible input, but also produce comprehensible output. And the best conversation to do is with native speakers, which is now easier to do that. We teachers can assign our students to have conversation with them through any social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or even via online game. Thank you.
There are plenty of online space that can accommodate your students' authentic communication. I may recommend the 3D virtual world named Second Life. Second Life are now being used by language teachers to provide simulation of real-life environment and allow students to discover more creative and more realistic way to improve their language skill. The platform offers individual English classes with professionally qualified and experienced native English-speaking teachers to students globally. It brings immersive, immediate, and more importantly, supportive, social, and truly constructivist potential to distance learning.
Okay, good morning, teachers. I'm Dana Bulariono. As teachers, we might wonder about the best teaching method to apply in the class and the best materials as well. Sometimes those things might lead to some frustration as they are also related to where to start. Well, I think we can start from thinking about connecting them with the students' enjoyment. When the students enjoy the material they are interested to know more, it will then make the language learning activity itself not only useful but also entertaining for our students. Thank you.